This week from GNC Week in Review, powered by GeekNewsCentral.com. Elon gets a win. The NTSB wants tech in cars to prevent drunk driving. And Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon. Oh my. Those are some of the tech news stories from this week, and it's Friday, September 23rd, 2022. My name is Kirk Corliss.
And I'm Scott Ertz.
And it's episode 109 of GNC Week in Review podcast. Week in Review podcast. Proud partner of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. Thank you so much for tuning in for this week's episode. We are live on gncweekly.com/live, so please be sure to say hello and chat or comment. Also, be sure to like and subscribe to the GNCWIR channel on YouTube. If you missed a live video, that's okay. You can always catch the replay later. If you are a listener, please be sure to subscribe podcast where you can find the right-hand side column at gncweekly.com, be it Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app. If you have a comment be it on social media or email, and those links can be found at gncweekly.com/connect. So we are back Friday evening, 8 p.m. Well, 8:20, 8:20 p.m. Eastern time. So we were off for a couple weeks due to my wife, Sandy, had a little bit of medical illness. She was in the hospital 2 weeks ago. I was home with her last week. So she was recuperating. She's doing well. Thank you all for your texts and DMs and messages and Facebook messages and all that good stuff. And I really do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And saying thanks to everyone as well for the love and support. She is doing fantastic, getting up there, better and better every single day. So we are back. A couple things up top we're excited about. First, I got my email, or pretty much everybody from press got the email for registration for CES 2023 next year. Super ecstatic.
He hasn't stopped dancing because of it.
I am like, and I say this once, and I'll say it again until I'm dead, 6 feet dead in the ground. This is like my birthday, my Christmas, my New Year's, literally my New Year's, wrapped up on one. It is going to be a blast. We're working on a lot of great stuff between us at Plug It's Live, Geek News Central, the Tech Branch, Gadget Professor, Talking Sound podcast. So we got a lot that's going on in the coming months. We're gonna be all over the place on the show floor at the Venetian Expo, the Expo, Las Vegas Convention Center. A lot of great stuff is going to happen. Interviews are being lined up, and I think we're going to be getting emails probably from companies in the next few weeks or next month or so. I haven't gotten any yet. Did you get any yet from any companies yet?
Oh yeah,
you did. Did you really?
I already had to create my CES 2023 folder in my email.
Right. Yeah, I haven't started mine yet, but as soon as I got that email from CES that the registration is open for press, I immediately went on. I booked my hotel, booked my flights. So I'm stoked. So I'm getting excited. As the days were like about maybe 3-ish months away. So it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Why do you feel the need to say something like that? I'm aware that we're coming up on the 100-day line.
Yeah. And
I was just talking about it this week, about how uncomfortable I am.
I know.
Knowing that the 100-day line is coming.
I know. I feel bad, but also in the same token, I don't. It pains. I know it's painful.
And you're a bad friend. No, not really.
Right.
Not at all.
Right. No, but but you know what? When it's exciting, but then afterwards, it's like it's painful because it is a lot of work that goes into it. And a lot of people, guys, if you're watching, listening, seem to realize that it's a lot of work that goes into it. But the outcome,
a lot of last time, year, a lot of work, and a lot of money.
You said it exactly right. And And the content that we put out, I think,
Wait until you see what I have planned for this year.
oh, it's going to be awesome.
It's going to cost way more than it's ever cost before.
Yeah. So definitely when the sponsors come out, please support us any way that you can, any way that you can. PayPal, we'll have PayPal, we'll have various different ways to support, because it's not cheap. It's not cheap at all. But the content that we put out, I mean, I know I'm biased, but I think we are the best people to cover this event, because you have CNET, you have all these other, you have The Verge, you have TechCrunch, you have all these different outlets that have like multi-million-dollar budgets, and they put out snippets of coverage. They like saturate with like just their own narrative, and we look at companies with an open eye, and with consumers want to know about the products and about themselves, whereas a lot of publications don't really delve that deep into it.
True.
So I think
there's a lot of surface level coverage.
Exactly.
And that's never been us.
Right.
That's not what we do. We're not surface level. We definitely dive in. I mean, sometimes deeper than we should.
True.
Sometimes I'm guilty of it. Chris Jordan's definitely guilty of it.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get excited about a thing. We'll see its potential for ourselves.
Right.
And then whoop, off into technical land we go.
Into the rabbit hole.
Yeah. And into details that the average consumer come into mind. The snap together LED strips. Chris Jordan and I went way off course on that one.
I remember.
We were both guilty of it. Neither one of us was able to reel the other one back in.
Right. Yeah, it wasn't, and you know what the good thing was? It wasn't a train wreck, because it was it went. Yes, it went in a different direction, but again, it was informative, entertaining. When I was on,
and it was the details about the product. It's not like we got derailed into compatible products or anything like that.
Right.
We just kept coming up with, oh, you could use this to do this. And the guy's like, yes, you could. And we have.
Right. Right.
And that was a ton of fun, because one of the things that we always talk about, especially with the early stage companies, is one of the things that oftentimes comes out of CES is somebody comes up and says, oh, you could use this for, and you've never thought about that before, because whatever that you could use this for idea is so far out of the thing that you had originally intended. Right. I made this to do this. Oh, you could use this for that. Huh. I guess you could. And that's one of the best parts of CES, as far as I'm concerned, for the product companies. And we were doing it. I'm like, hey, you could use this for this. He's like, yes, you could. So I love that.
And not to mention that a lot of the companies that we interview or that's on, when you ask a question, or Todd asks a question, something that they have never heard the question before, and they're open and honest with the answer, and they basically, how they.
I don't know.
Right.
I think I'm going to have to get back to you on that, because I don't know the answer to that.
Exactly. And we don't put them, it's not like a gotcha question or anything like that. Let's put that out there. There's no gotcha questions, but it's informative. And that's why our viewers and listeners, and the listeners that watch our coverage is like, is engaged in the chat. From what I saw, when I was there producing, when I was in the West Coast producer, I was keeping an eye on the chat, and a lot of folks were engaged.
That was on fire this year,
and it was, speaking on fire, that one from Everkey was great.
Yes, the studio was also on fire briefly,
and
but a controlled fire.
Right.
Fortunately, nobody from CES saw it.
No, because
as far as I know,
no, they haven't.
Linda didn't say anything.
No,
Robbie didn't say anything.
Yeah. I almost when I was shooting some video when he did that, I had to like I jumped back. I'm like, holy crap! And I
I'm
think
sorry, what just happened?
right? And Alante said, I think he said when you guys were doing yours on the other side, he said he is the GOAT of interviews.
Yeah, yeah, I think he said something like that. But
So,
the
but
comments that came up in chat during that
mhm.
were wild
Yeah, I missed some. I saw a
because
few of them. It was
nobody was
funny.
prepared for that.
Yeah.
That got
But
a lot of conversation going.
mhm,
Monster got a lot of conversation going because of the Razer Chroma integration.
mhm,
There's a lot of conversation about that. Um, the holographic PC
mhm.
with the hologram on the side of the PC and that
Okay.
came out of the top.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of conversation on that
Mm.
because Twitch was loving that stuff.
Yeah, I was keeping an eye. I didn't even see in Twitch. I was watching the YouTube chat. The YouTube chat was
YouTube was
was
pretty active
lively.
too.
Was really lively, and a lot
Yeah.
of people had, for a lot of people were thanking me, making sure that I'm okay, there being the only person there. Well, with Chris and Todd and his TD slash camera guy. But I appreciate everyone's support there. I had a blast. I always say it every year. Every time that I've gone over the past 3 to 4 years, I have a blast. I'm looking forward to it. So, but more to come. Next thing, also coming up in a week from tonight is the podcast awards. And I am super, super excited. We are super excited that we got nominated. So they're going to announce the winners, I think, as we're going to be on air next week.
All
So,
right.
so I'm going to make sure that we're going to keep an eye on it. And we're still going to have an episode. Trust and believe, we're going to still have an episode, but I'm going to keep an eye on the feed.
I know it'll be up on this other monitor.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Well, I'll have to look for something nearby me to take a peek to look at. So yeah, our category is.
I'm going to feed the audio in via Bluetooth
Okay.
into my mixer, and I'll be able to listen to it as well.
Good. Okay. Well,
I can throw audio in during the show if we want.
Okay. That's cool. Okay. Well, we don't want to like, I mean, I think it's a really, I said this before, I love our podcast. I really do. This started out with me alone. It was a brainchild, because we're a sister with Geek News Central. We're brother or sister. Well, I don't know. I don't know the
you don't want to misgender the show.
No, right. We're a partner of Geek News Central. And Todd Cochran asked me, for those who don't know, it's who's new to the podcast. I'm executive producer for Geek News Central podcast. And I've been on with the crew with Geek News Central for since 2017. And Todd asked me, CES 2018, he asked me, have I thought about doing a podcast? And I was like, I'll think about it. And I was thinking of some ideas for a podcast. And I'm not really like there's sports podcasts and politics podcasts and things of that nature. But I'm thinking I'm so immersed in Geek News Central and tech and what have you. I want to do a weekly show about an extended version of Geek News Central called
your own passion.
Exactly right. And it's Geek News Central, the letters G and C, we can review. So so I wanted to do that it started to work out a little bit, and I decided I wanted to bring on a co-host, and because I wanted it to be engaging and informative and fun, and bringing Scott on a couple of years ago. I think last year was the last year. I think I can't. I'll have to look at the date exactly, but.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
I can tell you.
It's been a couple years, and ever since then, him coming on is a treat. It's a blast. I mean, I've known him and I know each other, since 2018, for the past 4 or 5 years, and it's a blast having him on. He's a good friend. Being part of with CES and everything. I'm, been TDing, the last 2 or 3 CESs for 2020. Yeah, 2020. So I wasn't able to make it for 2019. For 2020,
I'm going to say right here and now, thank goodness for that.
Right.
You have
And
been you've been a lifesaver.
thank you so much. That means a lot. It means a lot. So I said I commit. I said whatever you need, you know, for 2020. I want to be a TD because I enjoy it. I love it. And and he showed me how to work the equipment, the board, and the roadcaster. And it was at first it was a little bumpy, but then after that, I knew what I
You
was
took
doing.
you took to it so quickly.
Yeah, it was, and I just knew, like, the board and the monitors, and keeping an eye on who's being checked in, and making sure the show notes are coming up, or the notes coming up, timer. It was like everything was just like boom, 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 and in 2021 we were all at home, TDing from home. I fell.
I still can't believe that.
I broke my toe. So
Honestly,
Scott,
I cannot believe that happened.
so Scott was, so I was in a not a cast, but a boot for a good week or two. Scott was sending me memes of on DMing me. I was busting out. He was keep my spirits up, and but the whole time
That's always my goal.
I know it is. That's why you're a good friend. That's why I love you for it. But yeah, and then in this year, 2022, I was, I was producer, floor director, floor manager, all rolled in one,
Yeah.
and it was the
You
most,
took on
a
a
lot,
lot of challenges.
a lot. So what I'm gonna do, like when we get, one of the low lights. Well, I'll tell it now, but we're gonna discuss this in our end of the year show. But just to give you guys an idea, the low light that I had, whereas one guest, he wore, I can't remember the name of the company off the top of my head. I'll have to find it later. Where he had a vest on, had a camera, he had the CEO, the guy was doing a demo. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my
Yep.
head, and I'll have to, what I'm talking about? Okay.
Yep.
So he brung up, this company had an entourage. Now, when I'm talking about an entourage, you ever see the TV show Entourage? They had the CEO, the guy with the vest, a camera crew, a sound guy, a cameraman, a lighting guy, and I think two other people, all on our booth, that came up, and they had one of these big signs, like these rollable signs you see like on the side of a Staples or something like that. And I'm like, I had to put my hands up, like, stop, guys, okay. And I introduced myself. I said, who's coming on? We had to figure out who's coming on to the set. I said, all of you guys are going downstairs. And also, too, you guys have like the behind the scenes stuff. There's cameras, there's lights. We have everything marked off and blocked off so no one walks into it.
The tower's not that big. We try to make it look like it's the size of a TV studio, and it's a lie.
Mm-hmm.
That thing is so small that we pass each other, close.
Well, yeah, the words "too close for comfort" means a lot. So we try to make sure that people, they can take pictures or what have you, but they have to stand not so close to the cameras, me, or any producer or anyone or associate or
away
producer,
from the cameras.
Away from the cameras, because we had a few.
One year,
right? We had a few the people were like walking really heavily, across the floor. But that one, I was ready to lose my mind. I was like, but
architect.
Yeah. But for the most part, though, but all in all, though, we kicked butt. We kicked ass that week.
Yeah,
it was a blast. And I am, like I said, the content
we introduced some stuff that we've never done before that we're going to take to a bigger thing this year.
Right. We're going to be all over
for multi-locations this year.
Yeah, we're going to be all over. We're going to have behind the scenes stuff. I'm going to shoot some video. I'll do some things from where I live on the way there. We're going to put as much. I'm going to try to put up as much video as I can. I promised last year I was going to, but it was crazy, and things didn't work out for it. But I did do some live.
Things happen.
Yeah, I did some live, at the Aviation, and and the win. So I plan to do that again. But so definitely, again, more to come. We'll, there's going to be things intertwined with things. We'll have an end of year episode we'll have Chris Jordan on. We'll have Danielle on. Hopefully, we'll have Abram on. We'll dive in with what we'll see, what won't see, the highlights, the lowlights. I'll definitely remember that name of the company later. But we'll have
Architect.
Architect. That's the name of it. Oh, okay.
Architech.
Okay.
Capital T-E-K.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
I went and looked it up.
Good. Okay. Thank you. Okay.
There was no way I was going to leave that alone.
Good. Okay. Because it was killing me. It was like I can't remember the name of the company, but that was my low light. But there was a lot of highlights, great highlights that we had. But we'll jump in that an end of year episode, and we'll have a blast. Okay. Last thing. Okay. So next month, we're gonna have special episodes of GNC Week in Review and F5 Live Reproduction Technology for next 3 weeks, starting on, get my calendar back here. So for the next 3 weeks, starting on Sundays. Is that
what we said?
I think so. I think we did.
Okay.
Or okay. Okay. I think we said Sundays or Saturdays. We can't. Well, okay.
Not Saturdays.
Okay. Right. You're right. Okay. So for next 3 Sundays, starting October 9th, for next 3 weeks, we're gonna have a special episode. It'll be special episodes. It'll be the episode, but it'll be putting F5 Live Reproduction Technology. So all the episodes that you see, which we recommend highly, check out the episode Sunday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern time. So it's going to be a joint episode of our shows, of our podcast, for next 3 weeks, starting on October 9th. It'll be 8 p.m. Are we going to shoot for that?
That sounds fine with me.
Okay, so it'll be 8 p.m. Eastern time, October 9th, the 16th, and the 23rd. So definitely, we're gonna have tech news. Obviously, we're gonna incorporate some F5 Live news and topics. So we'll definitely look forward to that. So that wraps up everything, all the cool stuff that we're excited about in the coming days and months to come. All right, that's it. All right. So let's dive in with the news of the week. So with the ongoing of coverage of Elon Musk and the legal battle with Twitter, I love it. So I gotta say, I listen to a lot of podcasts and tech podcasts, and I watch the news, keep an eye on the news and what have you. I think we're the only ones, which I love.
You haven't absolutely given up on this?
No, I'm not. We are not. We're going to stay on this story until it's no more. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Until this implodes one way or another.
Exactly right.
Which is what we all see coming.
Right. So Elon Musk can make the case that a $7.75 million severance payment to Twitter's former head of security allows him to get out of his $44 billion deal for the firm. Chancellor Kathleen, wow, what a nice name. Kathleen St. June McCormick, the chief judge of the Delaware Chancery Court, ruled in a filing.
I swear to God, I thought what you were saying was her name was Kathleen. Continue.
No. So I was like, I don't want to massacre this judge's name. Ruled in a filing on Thursday that Musk can amend his counterclaims to include the payment to Peter Zatko. We covered that on a prior episode. Twitter did not oppose the motion, and the stock was little moving on the news. Tulane law professor Ann M. Lipton told Barron's that McCormick is simply saying Musk can advance his arguments. She isn't saying whether or not the arguments have merit. Now, as we all know, the trial is set to begin on October 18th. Boston College Law School professor Brian Quinn tells Barron's that the latest ruling doesn't change the timing of the trial, but he thinks it's notable that Twitter asked the judge a condition on Musk answering whether he and his team had any communication with the whistleblower prior to the complaint coming public. He says, quote, "It's pretty clear that Twitter thinks that there's some coordination going on. Musk didn't immediately respond to requests for comment. So it appears at face value for right now, Elon does get a win, sort of. Sort of.
Which has been like, if there was any way to describe this saga, sort of, I think is it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you can get any more specific or positive. Sort of.
Yeah.
I think that sums it up.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Yeah. I think we got a new name for a show title. So basically, and there's been no I've been keeping an eye. I have been keeping an eye on developments. Basically, it's has been, well, we'll see what happens. But this to me, again, this seems like a win for him. But maybe this is going to give him more fuel to the fire, where this whistleblower basically just, did his work for him and said, you know what, I was right, but we got to pay him anyway.
I was right, but was I?
Right. And to be quite honest, I did say that, this is a waste of money to be spending billions of dollars on Twitter. But also in the same token, I'm thinking that he's got valid points. But my whole thing is, I'm kind of rooting for him. I'm kind of wanting him to buy it. I want him to buy it, because Twitter is a mess. It is a complete shambles. What was that?
Yeah.
Is that you?
Yeah.
Okay. It's complete shambles.
Yeah. And there's no other way of saying it. I mean, we can't be any nicer. Mm-hmm. It's a mess.
Mm-hmm. It's an S show.
Yeah. The company is unpredictable, mm-hmm. right?
Mm-hmm.
Their policies are not uniformly followed.
Right.
I saw there was a guy whose account was suspended today, not because of anything that he said, but because he's a member of an organization whose Twitter account hasn't been suspended. What?
Okay. That makes no sense.
So the organization hasn't violated a rule.
Right.
That, now, granted, here's the thing. The organization is very high profile, and the person is not so much, although they are now, because the organization tweeted about what happened.
Of course.
So they ended up making this individual famous by suspending his account, I think. His account for nothing, but being associated with an organization whose account has not been suspended.
That doesn't make any.
What? How did we get here?
That doesn't make any sense.
And they badly want to suspend this organization, but they can't for a couple of interesting political reasons. They couldn't possibly suspend this organization, although Google, PayPal, and Venmo have. So, what?
Okay, so if it's so that's that gets into another rabbit hole that we don't want to go into. But if it was political, that kind of like proves Musk's point to a degree.
Yeah, it does. They frequently prove his point.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've seen much a lot
to their own chagrin.
Right.
They're constantly like, "Oh, I can't believe we just did that. We have to keep doing it.
Right.
We've already done it. Keep moving."
Right. Right. And Zacko testified to Congress, and he's basically going to. He's still getting. And here's what kills me is that the guy is still getting paid. He's still getting paid, irregardless of what happens. And and Elon makes good points about the bots. Point taken. And there's a lot of like, there people being quiet, but secretly they're like, oh crap, we're screwed.
Uh-huh.
And and it's like, well, and then weeks before this happened, or with this ruling, the board or the shareholders approved for Elon to buy Twitter. So again, I know we're gonna, I know been on our been covering this and dissecting it, and we're speculating, but I'm just like, I'm not sure now. I'm kind of like, okay.
Yeah. And again, I'm not sure now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. So it's like, again, it's like, that's why, with like he gets a win, sort of.
Right. If ever a person with a thought bubble with just a question mark in it
Right.
made sense, it's this topic.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
Because what? I constantly find myself going, huh, well, that was unexpected.
Right. That's how I felt. That's how I looked at it. I'm like, wow, really? That's interesting. And then, but yet there's like, I'm just envisioning the question mark bubbles in my head now.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, so we'll see what happens. And if there's any more question mark bubbles, believe me, if anything happens,
there will be.
Right. We're gonna definitely look into it.
Because there's a 0% chance that there won't be.
Right. Exactly right. So we'll definitely look into the question mark bubbles soon. All right. Next
should be Twitter's new logo.
Right. Right.
A thought bubble with a question mark in it. The bird with a thought bubble and a question mark in it. That should be their new logo.
Exactly right.
Their splash screen when you launch the app.
I definitely we should rethink. And if Twitter, definitely, if there are any ideas, I think all the memes are start coming out on Twitter. We should put that up though. All right. Next up, the National Transportation Safety Board, or the NTSB, says every car in the U.S. should come with alcohol detection systems that will prevent owners from driving their cars when drunk. On Tuesday, the agency released a report citing the need for automakers in the U.S. to install passive monitoring systems, which could be available as early as 2026. The, quote, non-invasive technology the NTSB is calling for will be fully integrated in new models. It's basically a series of sensors that monitor alcohol levels in air exhaled by drivers, along with other tough-based sensors that read blood alcohol levels by using light. The air sensors could be mounted on a steering column behind a steering wheel, and touch sensors could be built into start-stop buttons. These systems would automatically test for unsafe alcohol levels and limit or prevent drivers from operating their cars if they were found to be impaired. According to the Associated Press, development of the drunk driving tech has been ongoing since 2008, with the research and funding coming mainly from NHTSA and group of automakers. The joint effort culminated with a group called the Driver Alcohol Detection System for Safety, or DADS. This is coming from Automotive News. It's a nice name. Why? The DADS group has led the advancement of the tech, which the NTSB says could be licensed by automakers in the U.S. by 2024 and be available in new cars just 2 years later. Don't they have this type of, not necessarily technology, I think in a couple states they have like they have something like not a kill switch or the ignition. Okay.
For people who have already had a DUI.
Okay, right. Okay.
That's what it's generally used for. There's a couple of companies that have the tech. I have worked kind of next to one on a law enforcement product that's related. They are interesting. Yeah, they're interesting.
Okay.
Very interesting.
But it'd be kind of interesting to see, well, how that will how that will play into as far as considered as a standard feat, not a standard feature. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
or an optional feature, or but also too is that I know with insurance companies they give discounts for the airbags, crown protection,
Sure.
various different safety features. So this would be a safety feature,
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it's treated.
right? And how it's going to be, and also too, as far as again, as far as going to be a standard feature in these
It
automobiles or
it sounds
optional.
like that's the plan.
Yeah, but the thing is though, the cost of it. That's where
Right.
the rub is that especially they're
Right.
gonna put these sensors in the sensors by the I just saw it a second ago. By the by the on a steering column, um, you know, hmm,
I'll tell you the first thing that's going to happen
mm,
um, is there's going to be a new aftermarket uh, business
yeah.
of people who bypass these
Oh, right. Oh, absolutely, right.
immediately.
Mhm. Mhm. Not to mention if again, not to mention if law enforcement gets involved with it, excuse me, if law enforcement gets involved with it, what's to say that as far as the driving record is concerned, how will that fall into place? That may have something to do with it too.
Yeah,
Maybe, maybe.
I have so many thoughts on this. I'm not going to
Hmm.
lie. I
Right.
the idea, and I know they're going to make everybody's going to make comparisons um to seatbelts.
Hmm. Hmm.
I know.
Hmm.
Well, people complained about seatbelts being mandatory, and now they are, and nobody even thinks about it.
True.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
Right.
th- that wasn't technology. That's a passive
Restraint.
physical thing.
Right.
This is computers.
Right.
This is computers keeping tabs on you and
Right.
absolutely holding on to a database,
Okay. And that was where I
right?
was going to go next.
There's
Right.
no there's no
Hmm.
way that that doesn't get stored in the car's computer,
Right.
and there's no way that that's not something that can be uh, uh, checked by law enforcement
Hmm.
immediately.
And that's where, right.
It's
That's
now uh, it's one thing if the car is keeping track of itself, right?
right.
The Tiger Woods, right?
Mm.
Tiger Woods got in that car accident.
How many has he got? No.
The but
Holy crap.
the one semi recently, I think it was
Yeah,
Tiger Woods,
it was.
where they scanned the car equivalent of the black box, and
Hmm.
it turned out he was doing like 108 and a 45 or something like that.
Yeah.
Now, that's the car keeping track of its own stats. Now it's
Right.
very different if it's scanning. You've got to touch things,
Hmm.
biometric sensors. Mm-mm.
Mm.
Regular listeners and viewers of this show know our feelings on biometric sensors.
Yep. Yep. Exactly right about that.
We don't want
Disclaimer.
Amazon to have access to biometric data. We
Right.
certainly don't want law enforcement to have access to biometric data.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. And that's where I was. That's where I was getting in with law enforcement. That's going to be a big. How that's going to play in a part, but also too, like if let's say for giggles that someone is drunk, gets into the car, does something on the waves something or breathes on the sensors or however it's going to be used for. How is that information, and that person may have a record already. What's to say that that data can go to your local police department's database
Yeah.
or something of that nature. And let's say, the man or woman drives out, gets pulled over, sees that information, and that gives them immediately supposedly probable cause, and that's going to trigger more of the defined, and basically it's going to be a snowball effect.
Uh-huh.
So that's something that I about how that's going, and is it going to be shared, you know, shared, via, again, thinking about insurance, it's going to go right to that insurance in New Jersey. For those who live in New Jersey, auto insurance rates are like you get into a ticket, an accident, you can kiss your premiums goodbye because they're going to go way up. So what's going to happen is that
Your whole world is weird, in fairness, because y'all aren't allowed to pump your own gas or turn left. So
you're right. Oh, believe me, I would give my right.
there
I
are
would give
other issues.
I would give my right arm to pump my own gas because I hate. I'm not going to call out. I'm not going to call out certain ones where I live by name, but where I live, and there's several gas stations near me, about a few less than a mile away from me.
Okay.
And I can't. I cringe when they put the gas pump in my car. They jam it in. Now, mind you, it's not delicate, but also on the same token, please just go easy. And also too, they overfill it. They overfill it.
Easy. I'm sorry. I wasn't prepared for that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Please go easy. Ah.
Breathe. Or they overfill it, and it's like with gas prices the way they are right now.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going down like a whole different. We're going up in a rabbit hole. We're getting sidetracked, but yeah, no, I know we do that. That's okay. That's fine. But some new listeners, sometimes we do go off track a little bit, and we recover nicely afterwards. So, but yeah, basically my whole point is like in New Jersey, like it's with insurance, it's like if this technology happens, and someone gets pulled over, and the insurance, they'll know it within seconds, even before you call them and say, "Hi, I got a ticket," blah 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 blah. They'll say, "Oh, we'll see your name, we'll see like the points." Oh, Mr. Quarles, I see you got a 1 point or a 0.8 on your drop. So here's your new premium, and you're gonna hear the word cha-ching.
Oh. Yeah, okay. I hadn't even considered that. Of course, that's terrible.
Yeah. And
with cars being as connected as they are at this point, it's possible that this is going to be live accessible by the insurance companies.
Oh, without question. I guarantee it.
No good. No good.
Without question. So this is something that is good. But there's a lot.
Theoretically,
there's one pro.
It's good theoretically,
right? But also there is a plethora of cons. Plethora of cons, and I doubt this is going to fly. And I think that again, I guarantee you, and we're going to keep an eye on this. This is going to go to Congress, and we're not going to go into politics. We're not going to do it. I guarantee you this is going to come up to Congress, and there's going to be numerous questions from lawmakers or legislators.
Yeah.
The validity, the tech in theory is great. Absolutely. But there are so many repercussions of what they're going to do with this tech is unsurmountable. Insurmountable. I just guarantee you one of the things that's going to be concerning is law enforcement, how they're going to use this against someone, but again, I think people's insurance are going to be affected greatly from it.
And if you think this isn't going to happen, let's talk about a story that I think just came up this week about a woman whose father, I think, I'm trying to remember the details of the story.
Hmm.
I think a young woman's father was arrested based on DNA evidence, DNA matching to a rape kit that she submitted for herself.
I don't think I saw that.
What? First of all, that information is not supposed to be held onto.
Right.
It's certainly not supposed to be used across purposes like that. And for a parental match, I mean, that's wild.
Yeah.
His constitutional rights were violated. Her constitutional rights were violated.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way this guy goes to jail.
Right. Right.
This is going to be prosecutory misconduct for sure.
Oh, without question.
But at some point, if they see, just like Clearview AI, right? We talked on F5 Live, we talked about Clearview AI a whole bunch of times, and it's scant constitutionality.
Yeah.
There might be, but it's little. Same thing here, and probably same thing here. But as technology keeps bumping up against the Constitution, you know they're going to try and open that stuff up.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It is a Pandora's box that we do not want to open.
Right.
That's the thing.
Yeah, I think that's where this is kind of this is leading into. I think that's where, on the surface it's great, but I think there's a lot of unanswered questions that need to be addressed, and so we'll definitely keep an eye on it. So we'll find out some news, if any, that comes out of this in the coming days and months, but we'll see. All right. So Amazon is hosting an event next week to share news about its latest devices and services, possibly including or potentially including additions to the Ring, Fire TV, and Echo lines. The invite only,
almost certainly, it would seem.
Right. The invite only virtual event will take place on December 28th. Amazon's invitation on Tuesday will report on Tuesday. Didn't include any details, simply saying the company will share, quote, news about our latest Amazon devices, features, and services at the event. That's it. So, but we'll see what happens this coming week, and if anything comes out of it, we'll keep you apprised of it.
Hopefully, here. Okay. Hopefully, they will announce 3 to 5 absolutely bonkers products. Because they usually do.
Right. The Fire phone from a couple years ago.
Nah, you know what? It was logical for them to try and get into the phone business. Now, they half-assed it. But it was logical for them to try and get into the phone business. No, I'm thinking about the Alexa clock.
The Alexa clock? What the hell
is a clock? There was a clock?
Oh, yeah. You're right. I forgot. You're right. I saw that.
That was weird. The little butler robot from last year.
Right. Saw that. Wasn't there a it was a smart toaster. I think it was. Yeah, that I was like, I think we talked about that when it was now. We did. We do, and we're busting out laughing about it. That's why I remember that.
And that's why I'm hoping that they launch a couple of just products. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, so we're definitely.
It is. I mean, it's just cannon fodder for us.
Oh, absolutely. So we're gonna definitely keep an eye on it. When it's on this coming Wednesday. So our Friday's episode. It's gonna be fun because we're gonna keep an eye on the podcast award ceremony. But also we're gonna be busting out laughing on that if there's any devices that's gonna be either blow us away or we're gonna be busting out laughing. So I'm leaning towards they
do not have to be mutually exclusive.
Exactly right. Exactly right. All right, next up, so Tom's Guide is reporting some rumors about an Apple October event. There's a whole bunch of rumors about what's going on, so we're not going to go into deep dive into
What?
all.
Rumors about Apple? That can't possibly be true.
Right.
Because there aren't already articles about rumors about the iPhone 15 when the 14 came out a week ago.
It was last week, I think. Yeah, you're right. It was. Yeah. So
There's
they're now
already rumors about the 15.
Right. So, well, there are also there's rumors about the iPad Pro 2022.
Which,
th-
for sure,
th-
if there's an October event,
yeah.
the iPad Pro will be part of it.
hmm
And the reason is because iPad OS 16 was delayed until October.
Right.
The release was delayed until October.
hmm
Normally, the OS comes out along with new hardware. So,
Right.
for sure, a new iPad will be shown off next month.
Right.
100%. There's no question in my mind we'll see a new iPad or a collection of new iPads, because a Pro, a Mini, it wouldn't be unless they already announced those. Which
No, they have. They haven't.
No new iPads. Okay.
Yeah, they
So,
haven't.
there we go.
This is all rumors that's being speculated. They're supposedly with the MacBook Pro 14-inch and 16-inch, they're going to have Apple M2 derived chipsets. Anything beyond that.
Totally expectable-ish. Although the MacBook Pro line has been known for big gaps between generations.
Yeah.
So it's possible that won't be the case, but not probable.
Well, I know that the update. I know
if the iPad Pro is going to come with an M2 chip, which it almost certainly will, then it makes sense that we'll see a MacBook with the same hardware.
Well, I know that they did mention. I think they updated the keyboard to the from the butterfly to a different.
But that was on the regular MacBooks, I think.
Oh, okay.
Which have been updated,
right?
With the M1 Max or whatever. When those were updated at the beginning of the year, those fixed the keyboards, I think.
Okay, I got confused between the MacBook Pro or the.
There's so many.
I know.
Their naming convention is not great.
I know.
We're going to talk about another company whose naming convention isn't the best in a few minutes.
Right. So there's about the rumor about the Mac Mini. There's rumors about
certainly we'll see a Mac Mini.
Yeah.
Those things they update weekly, it seems like.
They're talking about their rumor about the Mac Pro. I
wonder if they'll make it stop looking like a cheese grater.
Right. Or a or what was it? What was the one that looked like a toilet roll? It was like a tube.
The trash can.
The trash can. That's it.
Yeah, that was a Mac Pro. That was an older one.
Yeah.
The current one looks like a cheese grater, though.
Right. They're talking about the rumors about the Apple TV might feature a new processor, more RAM.
Yeah. Guaranteed, we'll see a new Apple TV. Yeah, in my mind, 100%. Because Apple TV Plus is becoming a bigger part of their business, as far as they're concerned. In reality, it does not appear to be.
Right.
But in their hopes, Apple TV Plus is becoming a bigger part of their business. And so they're going to have to keep up with the hardware.
Yeah. All right. There was also
this one I don't know if I believe. HomePod 2,
yeah.
I don't know if I believe this one. Yeah. Because they were so unbelievably embarrassed by the first one.
And ridiculously, and from what I saw, I haven't purchased one ever, but I mean, if I ever wanted one, they're ridiculously expensive. I'm sorry.
Expensive. I have at least one of each of the other three, not necessarily because I purchased them. But I do have at least one of Amazon's, Google's, and Microsoft's Microsoft's is dead, but I still have the speaker because it's one of the best little Bluetooth speakers I've ever used.
Mm.
The fact that the Invoke no longer has Cortana in it is painful,
Mhm.
but it's still a great speaker. So whatevs.
Yeah.
So they were all way less expensive. The Invoke is the one that was closest in price, and its sound quality was 10x the HomePods. And the HomePod was still more expensive. And Siri is still not terribly capable. I know she's going to hear me. She's not terribly capable off device, right? Because her whole power comes from the software that's installed on your phone. So removing her from your phone or iPad or computer where the software lives and putting her in a speaker saying, hey, you go live over there by yourself, there was no way that was going to be a good move because she's not cloud-based in the way that Cortana, I can say her name because nobody's listening there anymore, Google or Amazon are, where the software lives remotely. So it was a terrible idea. Hopefully this is going to be like the Newton and they're just going to give up. There's no way it happens.
Yeah,
I'm aware of that.
There was a lot of contention. There was a lot of contention. I remember when they announced that the original HomePod that Siri was Siri, and I remember I think Todd did a demo. I think he did a demo about it, and he shot a video of it. And apparently, it just was. He asked to play something. Was it the HomePod? I'm pretty sure it's the HomePod. I'm not mistaken. But supposedly, I think it was him, and he said to play something. I can't remember what it was, and it was off. It was off by like a mile, and there was a lot of, and there was like, and people were complaining about it, and it wasn't really the integration with Siri there was a lot. So I don't know if
anything third party is questionable at best because of the structure of Siri. Now, in Apple's defense, they bought Siri, and they've done nothing with it since they purchased it. I mean, has it gotten better? Negligible. What? Kind of.
Spit it out.
Twitter. Has it gotten better? Twitter.
Siri.
Now, visually, has it gotten better? Yes. The new overlay instead of the full takeover, all of that is fine, but none of that applies to the speaker. And anybody who knows our team knows that we have, I mean, the war between platforms is very strong in our organization.
I believe it.
Like, I think everybody knows where my allegiance lies.
Absolutely. And that's what we're going to get into a little bit.
Like, there's legitimately no.
For those who are watching, for those who are listening on audio, Scott is holding up his Microsoft laptop and Surface up on the screen.
Yeah, my Surface Duo and my Surface Book side by side, which is the topic we're going to talk about in a minute. But my allegiance is clear.
Yeah, of course.
Interestingly, everybody else tries to sway me to their side by sending me product. Coincidentally, there will be an unboxing video of an iPhone 14 Pro Max in the coming days, as there's one sitting in mission control right now. But there's also a Surface Book 2 sitting in mission control right now. So, anyway, the Mendez household is beholden to Apple, but they have Echo devices. So that's where I was headed with that. Even the Mendezes, who, I mean, Michelle might pass out if she met a higher up from Apple. If we ever did an interview with one of them, she may not be able to be in the studio because of the excited noises she would make. She has Echo devices. So I think that puts the HomePod into perspective.
Right, and for me, I'm Google all in. I have a Google Pixel 6
Mhm.
Pro. Um, I'm I love Microsoft. I have a Dell, big fan of it. But my allegiance to it is kind of swayed because I've been saying that
Me
I want
too.
to get, I want to get, I know, right? I
I
want to
can't
get into
I
a,
can't trust them for a week.
uh, yeah. So it kind of wavers, but I was like, and I was looking for it. I'm still looking. I want to get another laptop for editing videos and everything, and I'm kind of then leaning towards getting the MacBook. I'm just like I don't know. I'm just like I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, and
I can't do
everything's
it. They render slower.
yeah, and that's what I saw too.
Period.
But then
They render slower. That
yeah,
they're more expensive and they don't do the thing that I need them to do as well.
and
That's
that's
all
what
I need to see.
I know, and I saw that too. But I'm like looking at it, but also looking, the price is killing me. But then I'm like, but I'm wavering a little bit on it. But I think that it's justified. I think it's justified. But also in the same token, where they're announcing when they want to announce this new, if they're going, it's a rumor. We don't know factually, won't know until next month or next few weeks. But I mean, are they really like trying to get a foothold on a product, knowing that they've been having issues for quite some time? Why put out an iteration of a product, knowing that it may not do well in the marketplace when there are
Yeah.
so many smart speakers out there, from Sonos to
Right. And
you know
that's the thing, right?
mhm,
The sound quality. So the HomePod Mini runs $100.
mhm,
The the Echo the Echo Dot, which is shaped very similarly, has way more capability
yeah, and it's a lot cheaper too.
and is um,
It's 50, I think, or 50 or
comparable
75.
comparable in sound quality,
Yeah,
right?
mhm,
Normally retails, I think, for 50,
yeah, 50, yeah,
and you can regularly get them for 20.
yeah.
Because I bought two. I I bought two, one for me and one for Noel. I bought
Mm,
them kind of on a whim because they were
mhm,
$20.
yeah,
That is a fifth of the price. The sound is comparable,
right,
and they do way more, and they do it better.
absolutely, yeah. You're right.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm just that's
it's
where it's
hard. It's hard to justify this
right.
unless Apple is about to announce that they have taken and re-engineered Siri essentially from the ground up to
Mhm.
make her more useful. By the way, I can't believe she has not responded to me any of the times I've said her name. There are 3 devices in here that could all screw this up for me. Uh,
Well, I've said Google like at least several times, and mine didn't go off. So
yeah, but
I don't want anyone to go off either.
this one goes off sometimes just if you sneeze in her direction. So
Well, I don't want anyone else's devices to go off either. But we'll see. But we should do a bingo card to see if it's going to be on, if it's going to be announced or not.
yeah.
All right. Okay. So lastly, possibly, well, not
Speaking
lastly,
of,
right. There's a rumor about flying around about Apple's VR AR headset. Did something really,
all the analysts that I have followed are all pretty sure there's another year before it's ready.
yeah.
So
They're saying
so
20.
is
Yeah.
it possible that they're going to pull a HoloLens and show it off long before it's available?
Right.
Maybe, but that's a really Microsoft thing to do. It's not really an Apple thing to do.
And again,
Apple's MO is, hey, look, here's the iPhone 14.
right.
Pre-orders start now.
Right.
Right? Not, hey, here's our AR headsets.
Hmm.
When will they come out? Don't worry about it. That was Microsoft. That was the HoloLens, which
Mhm.
there's one sitting right here.
Surprise, surprise.
On a little mannequin.
Oh, Jesus.
Has the Holo Kid never made an appearance on this show? It has on F5 Live.
No.
Okay. Microsoft said they pulled a one more thing, right?
Right.
And they showed the HoloLens. Everybody was like, oh my God, I can't believe this exists. Because it was what kind of technology, right? It was totally like something from space. When will it come out? Don't worry about that. How much is it going to be? Oh, really? Don't worry about that. A, because you don't want to know, and B, because we're not ready to release a price.
Right.
That's not Apple's MO.
Yeah, and I don't think, and honestly, I think this one's not going to come out in this announcement because
we had this conversation a year ago.
Exactly right, and also too is that again they're trying to they want to put themselves out there with these new products, and like I said, this next big thing, whereas there's other products out there that's already have a strong foothold. Apple's coming in there like thinking, well, we got this, but we're going to slap this on, and it's going to cost. If you're listening on the audio feed, Scott's got his mannequin with the HoloLens with it.
We call him the Holo Kid.
The Holo Kid. Okay. What shirt is he wearing?
I don't know.
It's a black t-shirt.
Champion shirt.
Okay. I'm just want to describe it to the audio listeners.
Yeah.
Who's listening? Okay.
He's also wearing board shorts. You just can't see him.
Don't. Okay. All right. I just had this weird visual in my head now. So
he lives in the corner.
Okay. I'm not going to again.
Keeps him at the camera angle.
Good. Okay. I'm not going to.
That's why.
Okay.
He stays where the camera can't see him.
Oh, good. Okay. All right. So last on the announcement beat. Microsoft is holding a Surface event on October 12th at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Engadget reporting that while it's not completely clear what Microsoft plans to show off beyond, quote, devices, they say they may get the first official look at the Surface Pro 9 and Surface Laptop 5 in a few weeks. Some details about the upcoming products emerged this week via retailer leaks. According to WinFuture, the devices will likely use 12th gen Intel CPUs through the Surface Pro 9.
Let's hope.
May have an ARM-based processor option with 5G support. Microsoft may offer up to 1 terabyte of storage and 16 gigs. Okay, 16 gigs of RAM, both devices, and
for sure they'll have both of those things as they're both available now. It would be crazy for them to lose those capabilities.
So we will definitely keep an eye on that.
So here's what I know. I know.
You mentioned breaking news.
I know that we received an email from, and it's not all that breaking because this came in on the 1st.
Okay. Late breaking.
It just didn't matter until Microsoft made their announcement. So
there you go.
Through Linkshare, Microsoft's affiliates received emails that the MS Surface and the MS New Surface product categories had each received a new SKU. Now, we weren't told what those SKUs were, but both of them had a new SKU added to them, which means a new product was added to both categories.
And just to let people know, F5 Live has an affiliate program with Microsoft. Just to give people a full disclosure about it. Go ahead.
So, the MS New Surface category went from 9 to 10 SKUs, and the MS Surface and Accessories category went from 11 to 12. So, we're not 11 and 9. We're not talking about cases and screen protectors or even keyboards and mice in this case, right? Because that SKU count would be way bigger. These categories are obviously hardware. So we know for sure 2 new hardware SKUs are coming because we've already received details that there will be commissions on them. Now, what those SKUs are, we don't know. We don't get that kind of detailed information. What we do know is that 2 new SKUs have been added to Surface. So here's what I've heard from the outside world. I have heard that an FCC listing for a Surface Studio, not a Surface Laptop Studio, which brings us back to the terrible naming convention of Microsoft,
right?
That an FCC approval has already happened for what appears to be a new Surface Studio, so a Surface Studio 3. About time, considering the Surface Studio 2 is running a 6th gen Intel processor and was not technically eligible for Windows 11 because of that. Because it had to be a 7000 series. So a product that Microsoft was still selling was not going to get Microsoft's newest OS. They made an exception. So it's likely that we'll see that. The fact that the FCC listing just happened would explain why there is not a SKU for it in the inventory yet, right? In the affiliate program. So, and we know that the Surface Book line, which is what I've got here, is dead, usurped by the Surface Laptop Studio. So the idea that there's a Pro 9, a Laptop 5, and a Studio 3 all make sense to me. So I expect to see all 3 of those shown off next month. And I expect I will be receiving an email in the coming days with a 3rd SKU added to the affiliate program for hardware. So the fact that we have 2 already, laptop and Pro, absolutely makes sense. And I think they were holding off on adding the 3rd one into our system simply because it hadn't been FCC approved yet. So those are the 3 pieces of hardware I expect to see.
Good.
Pro 9, Laptop 5, and Studio 3. I do not expect to see a Laptop Studio 2 because it's still too new. It's less than a year old. I don't expect to see new hardware in that line yet. So those are the only things that make sense to me. Because I do not expect to see a Duo 3. And I'm going to be perfectly honest, I never expect to see a Duo 3. I would like one, but I don't expect to ever actually see one.
Okay.
I think they're done.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep an eye on this too, on it. And there was also some Google Pro 7 announcement, but it wasn't the whole hell of a lot. So,
yeah.
But we'll keep an eye on that too. Okay. So Disney's CEO Bob Chapek told investors last week that he, quote, loved to get up to a point sooner than later where Disney can integrate Hulu into Disney Plus. All that stands in the way is Comcast, which still owns a 38% stake in Hulu. Chapek said last Wednesday, quote, we have to have a full ownership of Hulu to integrate into Disney Plus. We would love to get the endpoint earlier. But that obviously takes some of the low propensity for the other party to have reasonable terms for us to get there. And if we could get there, I'll be more than happy to try to facilitate that. Disney has operational control of Hulu, and Comcast agreed to sell its stake in the service by 2024 at its fair market value. The Hollywood Reporter noting, but ahead of that deadline, the 2 companies have been making their intentions and tactics more publicly known. Comcast CEO Brian Roberts has said that the company we, quote, interested in Hulu were up for sale. He says, quote, Hulu is a phenomenal business. It has wonderful content. And I believe if it was put up for sale, Comcast would be interested, and so would a lot of other tech and media companies, and you would have a robust auction. Me personally, I love Hulu, and I will get into, sort of.
But it's been neutered.
Right. And my whole thing is that I don't want to go into Disney Plus. I have no desire for Disney movies. I mean, if my daughter was younger, way younger, okay, I would get it just for her. But Disney Plus's content, I don't get. No. Don't put Hulu in there. No, please, no, please, no.
So here's my interesting pitch on it.
Mm,
There's first of all, there's no way they don't get integrated. There's no
mhm,
stopping it. When the announcement, what, a year and a half ago,
mm,
that Disney was going to purchase Comcast shares, was made public, they said
mm.
Hulu is not long for this earth. Um,
Right.
they just didn't want Comcast to have it for
Mm,
obvious reasons. They
right.
don't want to. They don't want to prop up Peacock.
Hmm.
Um, but if Disney were to treat the combined whatever
Mm.
it's called the way that Paramount treats Paramount Plus, I'd be okay with it. Where the first thing you get when you come in are the brands,
Hmm.
and then you can dive off and completely ignore uh, Disney proper and go into ABC or ESPN or whatever.
Okay.
If you get that bar, like I cannot
I
believe I'm thinking this
Yeah.
because CBS All Access was such an unmitigated disaster. The idea that Paramount Plus has taken that disaster and turned it into an absolute success, because
Hmm.
I love so much. Now, the operational bits of it are a little questionable,
Yeah.
but the overall interaction, how easy it is to go, I want just MTV content. Boom. And the whole thing becomes MTV, or I just want Nickelodeon, or I
Right.
just want CBS or BET or whatever.
Yep.
If Disney were to do that, and when you
Yeah.
came in, there was Disney and Marvel and Star Wars and ABC and ESPN.
Mm.
Okay,
Right.
I
I like.
I think that would be a success. I'd
Right.
be
I would.
okay with an integrated platform
Yep.
that manages to filter stuff down like that. And then other at the end is fine. I'm fine with,
I'm with you.
licensed content falling under other. I'm okay with that too.
I'm with you on that. That's what I was thinking too, because I can't see, like, I mean, I'm not really, if they were to highlight that, like, or just like do like something in their API where to put in my preferences, put
Yeah.
everything, show
Where
me
I
up
can
front.
say, don't worry, don't bother me with animation. With the Disney classics.
Right.
Don't bother me with that.
Right.
I'm never gonna look at that.
Yep.
Don't bother me with the live action remakes. I'm never gonna look at those. And
Right.
no, not for any political reason, only because they've been terrible.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Yep. Then yes, absolutely. I would be with that. If they
Yeah.
highlight, if they know my feet, what I would like to watch in Disney Plus, and they marry in with the stuff I love on Hulu, because there's a ton of stuff I love on Hulu.
Yeah.
I'm watching. I'm all in. But if they just put Hulu like on a back burner,
Yeah.
no,
No.
absolutely not. I
Yeah.
can't do it.
If
I
it's
can't
a
do it.
rush job, which clearly it's not, because they've still got 2 years before they can even think about it.
Yeah.
If they do it as a rush job,
Yep.
it'll be terrible. But if they really take the time to think it out
Yep.
and come up with, what is it that people like about Hulu? What is it that people like about Disney Plus, and give you the ability to dive down those paths? I think they can make it work.
Absolutely.
Paramount Plus has done a great job of it from a UI perspective, and I mean, Disney's got way more money than that. So,
Oh, absolutely right. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see what happens, but I'm just kind of like, something tells me if that's going to happen, which definitely, actually, I know for sure it's going to happen. Those prices are going to go up without question. It's already gone up already. My Hulu went up a couple dollars. So I definitely, so next 2 years,
and Disney, let me warn you, I am already on the verge of saying goodbye.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't have Disney Plus, so I'm not. No,
like I mean the Hulu.
Oh, Hulu. Oh, okay.
After the last episode.
Oh, right. That's right.
I'm already on the verge.
You're right.
of saying goodbye, because they don't seem to be adding anything new and interesting lately.
Yeah, well, that's where we're leading into. We're going to lead into next. So,
Yes.
so, all right. So, speaking of the last episode, so we took a look at what was new on Hulu, um, and we both felt the offerings were a little abysmal, and Scott's ready to pull the plug. So now we're going to take a look at what's streaming on Paramount Plus, Netflix, and Amazon Prime Video. It is time for What's Worth Watching. And we're frozen.
Oh, I was doing jazz hands.
I saw.
Okay.
So let's see if we can try to do this here, because now we're oh boy. Okay, we're frozen now.
Okay.
So last episode when we did the intro, the bumper, everything was fine. Now this time I am. Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah, okay. So for those who are listening on audio, there's a little bit of a glitch for some reason, but that's all right. All right, so we got that together. Okay, so what is streaming on first is Paramount Plus in October. So we have, I don't know if you want to do, now these will all be found in the show notes at on this episode for GNCweekly.com. So let's see, let's go back up here.
So I once dated somebody who was obsessed with Monster High. So that one like pops out at me, but not because I care.
Okay.
I cannot believe that they're still producing new episodes of Inside Amy Schumer. Super excited about Star Trek Prodigy coming back. Ink Master, they keep trying to make me watch that. Like every time I use Paramount Plus and an episode ends, they're like, "Hey, do you want to watch Ink Master?" No.
Me too. Don't worry about it.
The new Beavis and Butthead. Let's see. The Daily Show with Trevor Noah? Oh, this is next day syndication, I bet.
More than likely, yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, there's no way they pulled that from Comedy Central.
No.
Although in fairness, his ratings have kind of been in the toilet, so they might actually do better. Original Beavis and Butthead seasons 5 and 7. Yo, MTV Maps. What?
I have no idea.
I don't know what to do with that.
I don't know what that is, and
the 2012 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, where Rob Paulson voices the wrong character. No, thank you. How do you bring back one voice actor from the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and have him voice a different character? Sorry. That's all right. Never not annoy me.
I want to know why there's 6 seasons of 16 and Pregnant. I mean, is that really like great TV to watch 16-year-olds have kids that they when they're kids? That's a whole different I don't know.
There are a ton of Monster High movies coming.
Yeah.
The Addams Family.
Mm-hmm.
That must be the one from like 2004 or whatever. Well, Addams Family Values, because it can't be the new one because they just cast. Yeah, because they just cast him.
Right.
Okay. That's good. Those 2 movies were actually surprisingly solid. Oh my goodness. Oh, AI. That's a good one.
Hmm.
I haven't thought about that one in a long time. Wow. Catch Me If You Can. Although I think that's on Hulu right now. So,
Oh, well,
wow. Dickie Roberts, former child star.
yeah.
Oh, it's one that jumps out, but not for the reason they're hoping.
Right.
Flashdance. Hackers. If you've ever wanted to be incredibly frustrated by a terrible movie,
Hmm.
I watch it regularly, not because it's a good movie, but because of how unbelievably bad it is.
Mm.
Oh, we're spinning around in a phone booth. We must be hacking. The Indiana Jones films.
Yeah. I only saw the first one. I didn't see. The other ones. I think I saw maybe bits and pieces of the other three, but the only one I saw in full was Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I just need to point out real quick
Hmm.
that Disney owns Lucasfilm.
Right.
Why is this not on Hulu or Disney? Whatever.
Speculation. We should put a lower third or something. Speculation ahead.
It makes me think of there's a meme that went around in 2019 after Disney was buying all the things about like it was a timeline that showed Disney buying all the things, and then from 2019 on, it was a joke of them like buying Paramount, and then
Oh, I saw that. I saw it.
It ends with
I saw that.
with them colonizing Mars and creating
Mhm.
Disneyland Mars, and yeah,
Yep, I saw that one. That was funny.
that's all I can think about. The Scream films, which I think are owned by Universal. Why are they not? Why are they not on
Peacock?
You guys are trying so hard to make Peacock work. How are you screwing this up? Oh my goodness. This is feeling, well, I guess it's not as bad as Hulu. There are a couple of things where I've been like, oh yeah, that will be good. Like, for sure, I will watch all 4 Indiana Jones movies and enjoy 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
For those who don't know, when it comes to Indiana Jones movies, the even-numbered ones are very odd. All right. And as we get further into October, I guess we're getting closer to... No, I guess not. I would say we're getting more Halloween-y, but Paw Patrol happens on the 19th, so maybe not.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Okay.
So there's some interesting stuff in there. Not a ton, but certainly more than Hulu.
Right. That's again.
That
that was horrendous. So again, as I said, abysmal. Okay, next up, what's new on Netflix in October 22? Starting with these honker of ads. Holy crap!
You might want to scroll past Nailed It real quick. Okay, good. You got into that part of the list. Okay. So I didn't know this. I didn't know that Nailed It was coming back on October 5th. Here's the inside scoop on that. It's probably the last season because there was a union walkout type situation, and Netflix said, if you walk out, you're done. We'll cancel the show, and they walked out. So current word on the street is that there are only like 3 or 4 episodes in this season because that's what was filmed before the walkout, and that's the end of the show. We'll see if that's the case.
Okay.
Barbie, It Takes Two season 2. So I mean, there's something. Wow, Gladiator, maybe. Labyrinth. Land of the Lost. What am I in? Am I in movies? I don't know. Land of the Lost. I wonder if it's the old TV show.
Good question.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith, National Lampoon's Vacation, European Vacation, but not Christmas Vacation. Come on.
Oh, that was the best movie. I love that movie. I can watch that morning, noon, and night.
Which is why I'm annoyed that it's missing, unless it's already there. Maybe it's already there. I'm
No,
gonna
it's
give
not.
Netflix the benefit of the doubt. I don't think it is.
No, it's not. I'm looking right now.
Ocean's
as we
11,
speak.
12, and 13, Point Break, Risky Business, Robin Hood, Runaway Bride, Rush Hour 1, 2, and 3. Oh, interesting. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1, 2, and 3, plus the movie. Okay. Vegas Vacation. So not Christmas Vacation. Was it Under Sea, maybe? And I just skipped it? Nope. Everything but Christmas Vacation.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Want one.
Bling, jumping from... Oh, nailed it. Season 7. Wasn't it season 6?
No, it was season 7.
Was it? Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I trust you.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, I didn't see it.
Oh, at the top, it's October 5th, and it just says it's time for a new season. Okay, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Just making sure. I'm like,
Yep.
I saw another number. I know I did. All right. Well, after the first, it goes downhill. But that tends to be the case, right? Because the first always has the big, like, movie dump. And then throughout the rest of the month, you get, bits and pieces of new stuff. And Netflix is still dealing with the end of their throw it at the wall and hope it sticks phase.
Right.
Because they've filmed this stuff. It's gonna come out. Right. They're just not filming any new weird stuff.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, unless there's stuff in here, and let us know. Please let us know. Unless there's stuff in here that we're looking at and going, Blippi's Spooky Spell Halloween. Well, that sounds dumb. Maybe we're wrong, right?
Absolutely. Right.
If we're passing stuff and you're like, no, you need to add that to your watch list, tell us.
Let us know. Absolutely. gncweekly.com/connect or hit us up on DM on Twitter or on our Facebook page. Absolutely.
Ooh. Yeah. The weird new Unsolved Mysteries has a new season, which isn't anything like Unsolved Mysteries. It's just more of Netflix's kind of documentary shows, but it's okay. That one's actually produced pretty well. Yeah, I'm pretty much at the end of this. And outside of the 1st and the 5th. Oh, Fortune Feimster has a comedy special coming on the 25th. I'm good with that. But that pretty much does it.
Yeah, it's
All Quiet on the Western Front. A new Netflix film that should be interesting. Big Mouth season 6. I mean, there are obvious problems with that show, but I know it's popular. There we go.
Yeah, so definitely, there is some pluses and minuses, but
there is some stuff leaving though.
Ooh.
It is ironic that that something called Everything Must Go is part of the end of month purge. The Bleach movies. The Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Footloose. Johnny Mnemonic. They're losing Leah Remini, Scientology in the aftermath. I bet that's going to Peacock. Miss Congeniality 1 and 2. Naruto seasons 1 through 9. Oh, good. So like 2% of the series. Because I think there are like 800 seasons of that show. And I'm only joking by a little bit.
Well,
then we've got Prime, right?
Yep. Last but not least is what's new on Amazon Prime.
I want to congratulate Amazon. I did it on F5 Live, and I'll do it here. Congratulations for not crashing during your first NFL Thursday night football game.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Racked
Was it massively pixelated often? Absolutely. But the service did not go down, which is highly unusual.
Yeah.
HBO Max went down on House of the Dragon premiere. CBS All Access went down during the 2021 Super Bowl. So you know what? Good on you. It's unusual for a service to stay up for something this high profile. So good on you.
I watched a little bit of their coverage, and I must say their coverage was spot on. I mean, they had the, if you're a big football, I like football, I love football. I'm not in football like a football nerd, but they had their graphics were pristine. They had the stats if you wanted them.
Yeah,
you could. It was a really
well
produced
solid
game.
Yeah, it looked really good.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to point out that AI, artificial intelligence, is also coming to Prime.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird. As is Dickie Roberts' former child star. Edward Scissorhands, good film heading into Halloween.
Yep.
I
don't know if you noticed you'll see.
Get Shorty. Oh my God. Okay. Super excited. Hackers is here as well.
Yep.
Somebody's been licensing some stuff real weird.
Can you say cha-ching?
Jennifer's Body was also on Paramount Plus. But it's that pairing that there's a lot of stuff on both of those.
Mm.
Love.com was also over there. Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You. No. Is it time to thaw her from her slumber already?
I think supposedly she wants to trademark that song, or be supposedly the Christmas song. But she wants to either trademark or put a copyright or something like that.
Yeah, it's all she has.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The Dictator. It's fascinating that movie. Oh no, is that the one? No, never mind. Whoop, strike it. That's the movie with Sacha Baron Cohen. Okay. I was thinking that it was the one about North Korea.
Mm.
The hot chick. Silence of the Lambs. Couple of Tyler Perry movies. Wall Street.
Good movie.
Always a good watch.
Highly recommend Wall Street.
And then, like everybody else,
we're going into...
we've left the first of the month, and like everybody else, things go weird. Blacklight, which was also on the last one, I think, because it was the as we get closer to Halloween comment that I made.
Right. Yeah, that's...
and then Freevee. So if you don't know about Freevee, guys, that used to be called IMDb TV. And how they screwed this one up is beyond me, because it should absolutely have been an offering of Amazon Prime Video, but whatever. Free ad-supported content from Amazon, and there's tons of stuff on there.
Yeah, the only thing I watch on air is Judge Judy for now.
Okay. Cape Fear, Child's Play. We're already starting out pretty well. Mission Impossible 4 Ghost Protocol. Okay. Mr. Peabody and Sherman. Murder on the Orient Express. Both the 1974 and the 2017 versions. Interesting. Obviously, one person has the streaming rights for that.
Starsky and Hutch, poor movie. I hate that. I hate that movie. Blue. I couldn't
The
say.
Expendables, all three of them,
Mhm.
in degrading. Transformers Dark of the Moon. So you don't have to worry about watching that one.
Hmm.
Both Zoolanders. Warm Bodies. The Susie
Uh,
Orman Show from 2008 to 2010.
how they managed to get that from CNBC?
Isn't that like a news and investing show?
Yeah, it is. It was on CNBC.
Then why do we care about episodes from 2008?
Uh,
Aren't they going to be wickedly out of date?
yeah, and a lot of the information is not really going to be relevant because a lot of things have happened over the past
Right.
4 years or
14 years, 2008.
right. 14.
14
Yeah, my math
years.
is
There have been 3 presidents.
and and inflation grew.
Oh. All right.
So
So there's some
that's
interesting stuff coming to the Amazons.
yep. That's it. Yep.
Nice.
So definitely check out our split screen here. There we go. So yeah, definitely all the um Amazon Prime, Paramount Plus, and Netflix, all the everything's there in the show notes. And like Scott said, if there's something that you want us feel what's worth watching, I was thinking about putting a page up as well.
Chances are we have looked at a name and gone, well, I don't even know what that is, and just kept going.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We are for sure going to be wrong
Mm-hmm.
sometimes.
Yes.
So let us know.
Absolutely. Let us know. And I think we should put up a page of each month. But also too, we got to still keep an eye out for oh crap, Wanda Sykes' show, the Ring video. So I'm definitely gonna see if that when that comes on, because I'm still looking forward to seeing that when it comes out. It hasn't aired yet, but so we'll give our takes on that maybe on that. So yeah, let us know, gncweekly.com/connect, or we're on Twitter or Facebook, and or by email. All right. And finally, a South Scranton restaurant filed a complaint with a magistrate district judge against a Virginia man to recoup a large tip he left early this summer, which restaurant Vice President Leslie Menikazi Galici, and if I'm pronouncing this guy's name, I apologize, said he lost when the cardholder and financial institution later disputed a charge. Alfredo's Cafe is seeking $3,700 from Eric Marcel Smith of Ruston, Virginia. This is according to an online docket that was filed last Tuesday with Magistrate District Judge Joanne Price Corbett.
Too many names.
I know, right? Menikazi Galachi said the restaurant received notice 45 days after Smith lunched there on June 16th that his $3,000 tip on his $13.25 order was in dispute. Now, you're going to love what he ordered in a little bit. So,
that's interesting. I'm very aware of this story. Okay. I do not know what he ordered. Continue.
It's funny. Which also begs the question why. Alfredo's already paid a server, Mariana Lambert, the 4-figure tip, leaving the restaurant stuck with the bill. So a situation that left Menikazi Galici feeling, quote, terrible. Attempts to reach Smith were unsuccessful last Tuesday. Speaking on his behalf, Stephanie Thompson, who said she's Smith's assistant, denied that he disputed the charge. She said in the message, quote, he is on camera. He gave his ID, brought documentation. He gave his card information and signed a receipt. This is clearly a misunderstanding. So you might want to know why the tech fit in this sort of tale. Well, he said he made money investing in cryptocurrency and NFT markets and wanted to use his good fortune to help others. He said he regularly liked to leave large tips. The restaurant's management spoke with Smith to confirm he really meant to leave a $3,000 tip. He told the staff a social media trend, quote, tips for Jesus motivated him, which I find this incredibly hard to believe. Weeks later, the hefty tip was disputed, and the restaurant was left with only the payment for Smith's stromboli. He ordered a stromboli.
Of course he did. What
A
else are you gonna order?
Stromboli. So
What else are you gonna order?
three, a $3,000 Stromboli. So the complaint also seeks to recoup
3,013.25.
correct. Excuse me, 3,013.25.
That
So
$13.25 is statistically significant here. Obviously,
exactly right.
sarcasm.
Exactly right. So the complaint also seeks to recoup other fees and expenses the owners incurred, and the hearing in the case is scheduled for October 25th. I have to feel bad for the waitress because when you go out to a restaurant, when you tip, I usually tip well. I mean, I don't tip four figures, but
Well,
or three
no.
figures, but
I have tipped 3 figures one time.
yeah.
And not because 3 figures was 15 or 20%. Just
Right,
because
right.
I happened to have it, and I was doing this kind of a thing. I was just trying
Mhm.
to, be a good person without stealing it later.
Right. Exactly right. But I feel bad for waitress. I mean, because
Yeah.
when the waiters and waitresses bust their butt, and they
Mhm.
get, and I know when I go out for a restaurant, I make sure I give the 50, even more than 20%. And I remember my wife and I and our daughter, we went to this Friendlies, and we had a waitress who was extremely pregnant. I mean, like ready to give birth,
Okay.
pregnant. And and she was like working, I think she said she was working like a double shift or something like that. So I think we gave her like $200, I think.
See, and
And
that's the kind of thing I'm talking about.
yeah, and and she was so grateful that that we gave her that tip. And I said,
Of
"You work
course.
hard." I said, "God bless you." I mean, and she was like, and I mean, they're carrying dishes and big trays, and oh, I was like, I told my wife, I said, we have to give her more. We have to. I didn't feel bad, but also in the same token, they are hardworking individuals.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you are out there listening or watching, if you're a waiter or waitress, I salute you. Kudos to you because you guys, do like literally like sometimes backbreaking work, but this guy, I mean, come on. uh, I don't think you're going to get rich in cryptocurrency nor NFTs, and I said this
Not
numerous
anymore.
times.
You,
Yeah,
you could have 7 or 8 years ago,
yeah,
but not so much now.
yeah. So now this guy is, I think he's, I hope they sue him for that and more, and give that waitress, a nice big tip after that. So, all right. And with that, that is the tech news for this week for Friday. Make sure my sound's up there. Oh, a little down too much. Okay. That is tech news for this week for Friday, September 23rd, 2022. Show notes from this episode can be found at gncweekly.com. Also, be sure to check out the latest tech news and commentary from geeknewscentral.com. Excuse me. And be sure to tune in Mondays and Thursday evenings at geeknewscentral.com/live for the Geek News Central podcast. And then be sure to watch and tune in at gnweekly.com /live Friday evenings, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And as always, if you're new to podcasts, be sure to like and subscribe to the GNCWIR channel on YouTube. Also, please make sure to click on the bell and always select notifications so you will not miss the next episode. Also, be sure to share this episode with people you know, or check out the podcast and pass along the word that this podcast is subscribed on your favorite podcast app. And be sure to tune in to F5 Live Refreshing Technology with Scott and Abram Pilch Sunday evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern Time at f5live.tv/join us. Or be sure to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast app. If you have comments on this week's episode, we'd love to hear them. Head on over to gnweekly.com/connect and connect by email, Twitter, or Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm at Kirk Corliss. Scott is on Twitter at TTTMABO. Till the next episode of GNC Week in Review. So long.
Ciao.